The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered 12. Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, guys? It's an early edition of the Bostonian versus the book. Day number 2 for us to do this early morning show. He is Dave Sherapan. I'm Matt Perrault. We are live on our YouTube channel, as always, at Boston versus the book, and the same on Twitter, X, replayed on Sports Grid Television, and on Sirius XM channel 159. Guys, you liked it yesterday. We came back again. Dave, Expos? What are we doing with Montreal today? How are you?
Big hockey game in Montreal today, and baseball season. It's everybody getting ready for spring training, reporting this week. So what am I going to wear early this morning? It's chaos in the house in the morning. You know that. Yeah, relax. You don't have a hat on and you don't have glasses. We share everything with the brigade. Where are your damn glasses?
I don't know. I don't know where the glasses are. I don't know how to shut off the smoke detectors. I replaced every battery. It's driving me crazy. I have a photo shoot in 2 hours here in town that I have to be dolled up for. So it's why I'm not wearing a hat today. So I got to do that. So if you hear the chirping, I can't stop it. I spent like an hour last night and an hour this morning trying to figure this darn thing out. Cannot figure this darn thing out.
No.
Kid's upstairs. She's not getting ready. She's going to school late today. It's a whole cluster in this house at the moment. So blood pressure up. Who knows what's going to happen today? And the Creighton Blue Jays lost last night. So it's
two rings, Baldy. 2 rings, Baldy. He looked at him, told him. I was like, wow, I saw that. Man, this guy's really, really excited that he won.
First time ever winning in Omaha. So he finally won one in Omaha. Needed a 38-10 in the Jays to miss free throws and have 2 players be sick as dogs during that game. But okay.
Yeah.
Even it up. Let's do it again for a third time in New York.
Let's hope they meet again.
Sign me up. Yeah. Sign me up. Third time in New York.
Yeah.
Neutral, Jays won there. UConn won in Omaha.
Yeah.
Do it in New York. Although it's like a quasi home game for UConn, but fine. Go play in New York. Let's go.
Tyler Powlis is currently replacing my parents' smoke detectors because they are all beeping also. Thank you, Tyler. If you can get over to Matt's tomorrow. Please.
If you have a wired house, like it's not individual, okay?
Yeah.
They're all wired together in this house.
Yeah.
So the only thing I haven't done yet, which I will do later tonight, is trip the breaker and literally do the breaker. And that might reset them. I don't know, but it is what it is. Joseph Myers, alibis are not alibis. Did you watch the game? If you watched the game, you would understand what exactly happened in that game. I mean, it was all McNeely. McNeely went for 38-10, but everybody else stunk. Jays missed free throws. They don't miss free throws. I mean, we're talking about the first missed home free throw of the year for Stephen Ashworth. He's 98% hitting free throws, and he missed. And the Jays lost the game by 1 possession. So it matters when you're talking about Kalkbrenner not hitting free throws and Ashworth not hitting free throws. And I mean, they lost. I think they missed 7 free throws in that game, which is really very not consistent with how the Jays normally play. They missed a bunch of threes, but so did UConn. They couldn't buy a bucket from behind the arc, and that's why the game was so low scoring. Game stayed way under, as it was. But then, look, I mean, Hurley wants to be the villain. That's what he wants. He wants to be the most hated coach in basketball. It's the only explanation for the way he behaves. And he's got 2 championships. That's right, he does. But he also has losses this year that he never suffered over the last 2 years, and he can't handle it. Like, he's shook. He's not the best team in the Big East. That's St. John's, and he knows it. So, I don't know. I mean, he's trying to get under other teams' fan base's skin or what, but walking off the court and talking about your 2 rings is such a shallow look. It's so.
I mean, in his defense, and again, sorry, Will, but cash all tickets. They were chanting "fuck you, Danny Hurley."
Rightfully so. I mean, he threatened the kid.
That's fine. I mean, like, so it works
there.
both ways. I mean, I'm not saying a coach should walk off and, taunt fans, but they got him pretty good, and chanted it. So, it works.
Dollar beer night.
It's back. Sports are back, and college basketball rivalries are back. And I think we can all agree that hopefully the Big East tournament will have some swag and some cachet.
I mean, Patino, Hurley. I mean, it's funny too because Mac and Hurley are actually really good friends. They actually get along.
I love watching Mac coach. Like,
did you know he's a Steeler fan? By the way, do you know that?
You just told me that right now. No,
he's a Steeler fan. I've known Coach McDermott for 20 years.
Yeah, you didn't know
I did not know he was a Steeler fan. He grew up in Iowa. I mean, I had no idea.
Black and gold, they got the same uniforms.
That's true.
There's a lot of people that grow up in Iowa. I mean, there's people all over the country that are Steeler fans because they're the greatest organization in the history of football. I mean, they're phenomenal.
In Mac's youth, they were. They're not now.
I mean, they over the long haul. I mean, you made the Patriots dynasty 20 years. The Steelers dynasty's 50.
I wouldn't call it a dynasty, but it's one of the. It's a top 5 franchise in the NFL. There's no debating of that.
Regardless, I only known Mac for a year, and I didn't know that he was a Steeler fan. But welcome aboard.
Right? I was like, this is on the broadcast.
Help us get a quarterback if you can. Mac, make a call. Because there's people talking about who's coming to play quarterback.
Because now I got to ask Doug. Next time I see Doug, I got to say, you a Steeler fan too? Because I thought Doug McDermott was a Steeler fan. So if Greg, and then I'll ask Nick, who is a caddy on the PGA Tour. I'll ask Nick if he's a Steeler fan. Like, is this a family thing or is this like dad out on the reservation by himself being a Steeler fan? Because in the Midwest, in that part of the country, like, it is kind of open season as to who your fandom is going to go with. Like a lot of people go with the Chiefs just from proximity, but some people in Iowa go to Chicago and they're big Bears fans. Some go north to Minneapolis and be Viking fans. So Iowa's a unique state because that's why working there was so interesting, because in the NFL, you had a really wild cross section of fans. Like Dallas Cowboy fans are in Iowa. Steeler fans are in Iowa. So it's all kind of mixed together. So who are you?
We just cashed the geography portion of the show within the first 10 minutes. Santana, thank you very much, sir. The Dodgers are still minus 450 to win the NL West. Appreciate you being here as always. Chicago Kristen, magician doesn't show all his tricks when he does it. There's no way I can give you a Cribs tour of my hat and jersey collection. I cannot do that. That's
Mrs. Consig would be pretty angry with you if you did that. Jessica would.
Yeah, I mean, she's already angry with me with the collection as it is.
Jessica would not like a show and tell.
Yeah,
that would not work.
And I mean, on top of it, we did the early show yesterday, so I went out and about and met a couple people about some things and stopped at a store and they're like, "Hey, spring training hats are."
You're a mark.
I'm like, "Yeah, thanks. Okay,
like, well, there's our guy.
Got a trip planned. Otherwise."
Well, can we make the announcement? Can we do it?
We need to for our Kentucky/Tennessee brethren or anyone that can get there close. We got to tell them because we secured this happening. P-Roll, tell them.
So we don't know the exact day and time as of yet, but we do know that during the SEC tournament, we will be at Circus Sports Kentucky. Most likely, it's going to be Thursday, the 13th of March.
Wednesday, the 12th is going to be.
You like Wednesday, the 12th. Okay, one of the 2 days. Will either be Wednesday or Thursday, depending upon what we wind up doing. We've not completely secured the day and time as to when we will do that, but that might be the first of multiple shows, by the way. We may do one on Wednesday. We may do one on Thursday. We may do one on Friday. Like there's a lot of things going on for the SEC tournament.
Yes.
It's going to be monster. Wednesday, there are 4 games. They're kind of like the play-in games, if you will.
Right.
Then the next is on Thursday, where you start seeing some of the bigger name teams come into play or will be in action. So Thursday, kind of the real tournament starts on Thursday, but Wednesday you've got games. So we'll go and preview the whole tournament. We'll preview the games. I don't know if Kentucky will play on Wednesday or Thursday. As of right now, it looks like they're going to play on Thursday, not Wednesday, but
They're
we'll
not
see.
playing Wednesday.
So we'll see how it goes. I mean, we got a month of games left, really, before we get there. So we'll see they look great last night. So I would agree with you, but let's see what happens going forward for Kentucky, but lost their point guard last night, which is not great, but I'll be curious to see, the bracket as it all kind of comes out, but it's Franklin, Kentucky at the Mint for Circus Sports Kentucky at the Mint. So we'll be there. Day and time to be exactly announced, but we are going to Kentucky. So yeah, Christian, you're coming over. You're going to come over and say hi. Let's go. So hope to see a lot of you in Kentucky who are in the area. So 3.5 hour drive. It's not bad. Come on down, Addison. You've been to the live shows before. So not bad for you to come on down to be a part of that. So we've never been to the Mid-South to do the show before. It's kind of in the same geographical region, which we're kind of setting up shop in that part of the country, like the Chicago / Mid-South Central Time Zone type of shows. So this is drive down from the Mitten.
I don't know. Daniel,
Michigan.
I don't know how long that drive is, but pick up JPC to 4th on the way. And anyone else, maybe carpool it, get Bonvie to pick you up. He'll drive you. He's a good driver. I don't know who's going to be there. I can't wait. Start making plans right now. They get together. We'll do the show. The plan we're working on is that they kind of were okay with was we do the show Wednesday, kind of like a BVB prime time.
Yeah.
We'll hang out and then we'll do something hopefully on Thursday, maybe in Nashville itself. I don't know yet. We're still working on that, but we'll, if nothing else, try to go to the games as well and hang out and get a little feel for if anybody has a specific Nashville thing. We're going to talk to AB and see if we can nail down some plans.
I met somebody on Monday night, who his best friend runs 4 bars on Broadway in Nashville.
Okay.
So before he leaves, we're going to be having a conversation with him about how do we get this.
Today's going to be a good day. You got photo shoots and stuff. We're going to bang this show out, a little morning session for those of you, again, who are here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. The likes are going up every day. The views are going up every day. Will's doing an unbelievable job with the shorts. The thing is growing at a time when a lot of things are not growing and a lot of things are ending after the Super Bowl. The trajectory is going in the right direction.
Yeah.
We got talks scheduled for, I told my wife, I don't know if I'm going to see you tonight. It's going to be a long night. We're going to have a lot of plans. There's people in town we have to say hello to and meet in person and get the skinny and get the fat and get it all, whatever we're going to do. That's exciting. So we're definitely coming to Kentucky. We're definitely going to be there. And
so Joseph, in case you guys are just curious, and this is all going to be topsy-turvy as we go, but top 4 teams get double buys in the SEC. That's Alabama, Auburn, Alabama, Florida, and Texas A&M. They would get a buy.
Texas A&M is the 4 right now?
Yeah, they're 8-3. So, and then 7-4 Ole Miss, 6-4 Missouri, 7-5 Tennessee, 6-5 Kentucky. So as of right now, Kentucky would play on Thursday. And Tennessee would play on Thursday as well. So for us to do the show on Wednesday, that's good because anybody who's a Tennessee or Kentucky fan looking for somewhere to hang out before you head down to Nashville or before your team plays will have games. There's noon and 2 p.m. is the first session, and then there's a break, and then at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. for the 2 games following. So we'll most likely do the show in between the 2 sessions of first and second morning and evening sessions down in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena.
Who doesn't love a nooner?
Yep.
A nooner session are always good.
Bridgestone Arena is where the SEC tournament is being held. I have not been to one of these in a really long time. I'm trying to effort to get my Alabama people to make the drive up to be a part of it because Bama's going to be live to win that damn thing. So I am trying to get my Bama people to come on up. So you may meet some of my people in my past who are my friends from Huntsville and Birmingham and like, hey guys, it's a quick drive up I-6, what is it? 8, not 80. It's north 65. I think it's 65, right? I-65 that goes between that. I think that's right. Between Huntsville and Tennessee. So
We'll just hit Waze and let Waze tell us.
Yeah,
Don't-
let them
don't
do it.
start
So,
giving people directions.
more to come, more details, but Circus Sports and BVB continuing this tour of the country. We went to Chicago with Circus Sports, Illinois. We're going to Franklin, Tennessee with Circus Sports, Kentucky at the Mint for us for a show coming up in a month. So good. Yes, I was right. 65. Yes, going back to my old school navigation ways. 65.
There you go.
Because odds go north, south, even go east, west. So that's,
Correct.
I had to remind myself of all of that. All right. This is an interesting conversation to have because I love talking about handle and just we have numbers that have come out of the Super Bowl now, and this popped yesterday. Nevada Sportsbooks won a record $22.1 million on a $151.6 million handle. That's a 20% drop in handle from last year, but they won $22.1 million. So is this victory lap time for the bookmakers?
Oh, there was a couple celebratory texts yesterday. Less handle, more win. And my response was, did you guys increase the parlay handle that much? Because that's where you make it up.
Okay.
When you take, 100%, if it's 90, 10, 85, 15 straights to parlays, and then you make it 60, 40, your hold should go up the more you win, even when the handle goes down. And then even more so that, the percentage can be jumped. Now, the handle being down 20% plus is significant. Like, no matter what anybody says.
Okay.
The game being here had a drastic increase in handle. And I know this because when I was in the book yesterday at Circa, I ran into a guy who does this for a living, runs around, has a team, all this other stuff. And he was telling me how last year was the easiest year and his best year career-wise because books increased limits on everything.
Oh,
because the game was here.
Oh, okay. Right.
So they didn't have to do as much stealth mode stuff, getting around, betting in other states. They did all of it here. That drastically changed this year. It wasn't that way. He came back to bet it thinking, oh, they're taking 3 dimes a prop now. Guess what? No, they're not. They're taking a dime. The game's not here. They don't have to do it. Things have changed. Companies that were operating in multiple states that have been operating here are no longer doing that. So they pulled back. That's why the handle wasn't nearly as much. And 2, despite the fact that it did set a record of people watching it, it was a little bit down in Vegas for various reasons. Our friend Vital, Las Vegas locally, have been reporting different things contributed to it. It wasn't just the game itself.
No.
Vegas in general wasn't the same as it normally is for Super Bowl weekend.
No. I mean, I've been on the strip more in the last 48 hours than I've been on the strip for a while. So it's been interesting to see, like, where I have been has been jumping. Like Monday night, Horseshoe, jumping. Like I was stunned. I walked out, was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I thought the town was quiet. At least a Monday night at the Horseshoe. So I don't know exactly if that's locals that are coming down to the strip, and that's a local place sometimes, but the Flamingo was pretty busy as well on Tuesday. I don't know, but I know that the numbers for Saturday and Sunday were incredibly down, and people were stunned at the quiet nature of Vegas and how cheap the hotel rooms were and how low the limits were on the table games because nobody was there, that there were full, like multiple properties that had very little action going on the floor on Saturday and Sunday nights, which is not typical for a Super Bowl. So it makes sense why the handle would be down. But do you think the books made back what they lost in December? Because they had a losing month in December.
Oh, they had I mean, they set up the whole first quarter with what they did on Sunday.
Okay.
The way that result went, all the Chiefs futures, the most popular 2 prop guys to score and get over yardage didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So the Saquon and
Kalshi.
Travis Kelce props paid for everything else, and There was no overtime. The game didn't land on 3. All the things that
But was it parlay handle? Is that what caused it to go up?
I mean, parlay handle was up. I haven't looked yet. I'm
Okay.
waiting for our guy Alf to get the numbers and get them to me. And I spoke to him briefly yesterday, but he's going to get them. It's funny how, like, some states normally take a while to report, but right after the Super Bowl, everybody sends it out, especially when it's a good report.
Right.
And you can get these out before earnings calls in March. That's really good because it's like, hey, we're rolling. We turned everything around. Okay, what about November, December? Oh, those were unfavorable results. Remember, we said that. Oh, okay. So again, the numbers say this and they say that, but it was a successful Super Bowl across the board for the books, and it was a really good one for a lot of people in Nevada.
Somebody said this to me yesterday, and I kind of went, do you think 60% of every bet, or 6 out of every 10 bets that get made are parlays?
At places, for sure.
No, I mean in the country, in America. For every
At
10
some
bets,
places,
6 of them
At some
are
places
parlays.
they are. I mean, that's a dream if you're at a book. I don't even have to be an odds maker. That's how you get phased out of the business. Just put it up and let people bet it. If they're betting 6 out of 10 bets or parlays, if you have more parlays than straight bets and decisions on parlays, you just gotta. It's big bank take little bank. When they win, you pay them. They're not leaving; they're betting more, giving it back. So, yeah, that would be an unbelievable ratio. I never worked at a book where the ratio was more than 15% parlays to straights. So, that would be a dream. I put it on autopilot.
I recoiled when that was stated, and I went, wait. Hold on. I know parlays are popular, but you think that 6 out of every 10 bets in America are currently parlays?
Again, it's like the AGA. You can say whatever number they want unless they have proof of it. I could go to 10 guys today and say, what's your parlay to straight bet handle? Some books, king of car seats, you take the over. Listen, let's open a book. That'd be great. You got guys like, Alex out there, working on slimmer margins, trying to take bigger straight bets to create volume. And there's other ones that just say, just take parlays. If you could run a book and just take parlays, that'd be easy.
So if that's the case,
yep,
because this is what spurred the conversation about the ethics that we get into in the content space, right? Because we're telling people what to bet. I tell people what to bet, and they can do what they want with it. But I say, what I'm betting, you can fade or follow it. And there's numerous people that do this now. This is a whole, obviously the industry is still growing and still maturing, but it's still pretty much there. What is the future of if the books are going to market aggressively all their parlays, which is what they do? You open up a book, most of the, quote, public facing books, you open it up at the very top of the app is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parlays, right? Pre-populated, pre-selected parlays. The odds aren't right. You put them in a parlay calculator, you'll quickly realize, oh my gosh, these odds aren't correct, but they get to play with the odds and they get to make it up. And then just to go, 6-1. Okay. Why? I don't know. Just that's what it's going to be, 6-1. The public, do they ever figure it out? Like, do they ever figure, or do they need to be told, like cigarettes, when you bought a pack of cigarettes and on the side of it had a big old skull and crossbones and said, if you smoke this, you're going to get cancer. Like, do we have to go down that road and actually tell the public that what you're doing is detrimental?
Doesn't matter.
They're going to do it regardless.
Yeah, do it regardless. It's way more fun to bet a little to win a lot, despite the fact that you're going to be up against it and lose way more. I've seen it this goes back to Curacao. They don't listen. So is it ethical?
But don't they run out of money eventually?
That's the reality of it. Losing is not fun. And then when you lose enough and you run out of money, you go, you know what? I'm going to play video games, or I'm going to play pickleball and find something else to do. You run out of money doing it. Some people smoke at 16, pick a pack up a carton a week, know that it could cause cancer, and just keep doing it. So you can warn them, you can say it. And I mean, I've told you, I said it here, I've said it on different panels. I'm going to say it again. I'm speaking on some panel next week. I've lost jobs over saying I'm not providing a same game parlay every day. One,
Right.
because I take it too serious,
Right.
and it's going to take me 2 hours to find the best advantage things that I can find. And then you're not going to pay me more when I win. So everyone else in the space is doing it and literally maybe crafting it in 5 seconds, or letting a producer do it and then reading it and selling it. I'd rather not do it. So, and it's not something that I am doing. So it's hard for me to do it, but I know that. And I mean, you've done this long enough now, have the experience. It's hard. I mean, your company is named Betting Pros.
Right.
There's no pro anything
On that. I mean, no, I agree.
There's no pro anything. So, the label expert is going around, and I mean, there's people with these spaces, and they're all coming at each other. You're not an expert. You don't win. Where's your statement? This and that.
Right.
Tell people what they want to do. I've said this too. You could give them the winners, but if it's not the winners that they like, they don't care anyway.
Great point. Right. And that's really accurate about people wanting you to bet their way. And then they run and go, oh, we love it. And then I go, okay, I'm in trouble because you love it. I think it's wild in the wake of the Super Bowl, in the wake of what Vegas has done, and has parlay handle in Vegas gone up. And granted, guys, like, the quick retort to me is, Matt, you do teasers all the time, which are parlays. And that's a good point. Okay. That is a very fair point to come at me. But I've often said that third leg, when you go from 2 legs to 3 legs, changes everything. You go from 3 legs to 4 legs, changes everything. The odds just go through the roof. If I'm not a math guy, like we know, but the math people will tell you that from 2 legs to 3 legs, it gets really crazy how hard it becomes to consistently cash a 3-leg or more parlay. 2-leg, not easy, but easier to hit a 2-leg.
3 is even okay sometimes. I know a lot of guys that will do some 3-thing parlays, but I mean, there's people that have built I don't want to say build a business, but have been running around town doing correlated 5, 6, and 17 parlays on football Saturdays and Sundays.
Correlated.
If you do it right. Yeah.
Okay.
Sneaking parlay cards,
get thrown
stale numbers. Oh no, they will eventually. Yeah. It's easier if they just come in and tell you what they're doing, and then you just take the bets, because again, they're 5, 6, 7 game parlays. And most books are like, just give them to me all at one time, rather than stealth mode me 5 here and stealth mode me 5 here, and then go to another one of our properties and stealth mode 10 here and pretend like you don't know what you're doing. Because then all of a sudden I have risk on 6 or 7 games that is 100x what it normally would be if you just tell me what it is. Okay. So, but the 2-leg teasers is very different. There's a real place for that in the good part of gambling content.
Yeah,
you can
moving the line.
Football with the teasers, the power of the teasers has become much more important and strengthened because the lines have gotten a little better. The game has changed. So you can do 2-team teasers. Now, when you do basketball teasers, my answer to people is, when should you do basketball teasers? Never.
Right. In never college.
In college football.
Or college basketball.
Well, in basketball, period.
Yeah.
You're never getting enough points where it really matters. And the odds get just changed so much. If you do a 2-team parlay, it pays 2.5 to 1. If it doesn't, you're getting
right.
That's what it pays.
I bring this up because we have spent time on this show, and other shows have talked about Kalshi. Kalshi did about $27 million in handle for the Super Bowl. Okay. We can talk about the legality of whether or not Kalshi should be operating or not. But I bring up the parlay conversation because you cannot parlay this.
Correct.
Kalshi is only a straight market.
Yep.
So what's the outlook? If you're an investor or you're somebody involved in Kalshi, and we're talking about 6 out of 10 bets or parlays in America, just hypothetically, Kalshi, you can't parlay. Do they have to figure out a way to parlay these markets? Because it doesn't work like that, because these are individual markets that you're buying into, because it's like a stock that goes up and down. You can't combine the two. The math doesn't work. What do you do if you're Kalshi, if everyone's betting parlays?
So for those of you new to the show, you may not have heard this. For those of you that have listened to this show or followed my content, I've told this story multiple times. I'm sitting at the M in the book, working as a ticket writer in 2010, and I get the idea that I want to run a future book only. I want to just be all over the country, and I'm just going to do futures. I'm not going to book the games day to day. We're just going to have a future market, and we're going to have the best price on every team in every market that we offer, because we're taking all of this money from all over the place, like I did when I was offshore. There were no restrictions. If you were in Hawaii and you wanted to bet Hawaii, you could. If you were in Connecticut and you wanted to bet UConn, you could. And we would have the best price on almost every single team in every single league we offered. That's what Kalshi's doing. They're going to offer a huge amount of volume. There's only one winner. There's only one Super Bowl winner. We can take all the books and not put their future book out of business, but we will be the most competitive without a doubt.
There's 29 losers and one winner.
It's a huge advantage to hold the money and then live with the ups and downs. The Vikings, and again, I don't mean to pick on you Minnesota guys, and thank you for watching the show, but I would have been giving you, if every in the book in the world was 20-1 on the Vikings to win the Super Bowl, I'd have had 30. Because we know, and you true Viking fans know, they weren't going to win the Super Bowl. But I would have had this 50% better price, if not double, on the Vikings, and saying, come bet me the Vikings. So I could pay all the people to bet the Eagles with your money and hold whatever I need to hold. I don't need to hold that much, P-Roll, if I'm just doing that. So no, I don't. It's a different business model. Kalshi's, maybe they will get interested in getting the parlays eventually, but they have to get in the door kind of like they've already kind of barged through it. I don't think they need to start doing parlays to really rub everyone's noses in it.
But I just wanted the future, though. I asked about the future of the interest in doing in gamble with Kalshi, because by comparison, FanDuel announced that they peaked at 70,000 bets per minute.
Yeah.
1.5 billion in handle.
It's
so
incredible.
27 million to 1.5 billion.
Yeah.
And they did 70,000 bets a minute at one point.
Yeah.
On the Super Bowl. That's a very different business model than what Kalshi's doing when they're doing 27 million.
It's two different planets, two different solar systems. I can tell you this. Sunday, do the Hit with Moose in New York, and I'm pretty much done for the day as far as media stuff. So I turn on the Waste Management Phoenix Open, and I start betting it on my account. I think I made Sunday alone maybe 87 bets.
Ooh.
Between the golf and then the game,
right,
and the different things. It was it, and you know, Jess came down because I was alone. Everybody slept in. I was alone. I was sitting there, and then she came down. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I had the chart out, and I had my things, and she's like, "Are you actually betting this golf?" I'm like, "Yes, yes. I have this guy. If this guy comes back, Scheffler's done, so he's out. So if this guy can come back, I only bet once on Spieth, but like." She's like, "You're doing it? Really? It's Super Bowl Sunday." I'm like, "No, I'm involving it all with the Eagles. I got it all parlayed with the Eagles." So I was, because I could get a better price on stuff if I put it with the golf. So I know how the system works. So I was, doing some things differently. The ability to process 70,000 bets per minute is unbelievable to me. That is fantastic. Those are all less than $10 bets each. Nobody's betting big money on that. That's a different model. Kalshi wants a guy to come in and give him 20,000 on the Vikings to win the Super Bowl. So it's like sales, right? You can sell widgets for $1, or you can sell a house for $500,000. It's different markets.
Oh, there you go. King Kalshi used Kalshi. He hopped in. There we go.
Did
So
you
do you
like
think
it, King of Car Seats?
Yeah, and the other question I would have is, does this mean people are more likely to use Kalshi right before big events? So, like, if I'm going into the Major League Baseball season, I'm not going to use Kalshi right now. I'm going to use Kalshi when the playoffs start, or I'm going to use Kalshi before the World Series, where I'm not going to bet it the same way. So the volume and the number of bets being processed, or whatever they want to call it, investments, however Kalshi wants to term it, they're calling it bets right now. Whatever they're doing there is not the same as what we will see at a traditional sports book. Because they say, come bet with us. They're saying, hey, come bet, come bet whatever you want. So they launched it 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, which is perfect timing. Everyone's going to bet the game. There's only one football game left. There's 2 weeks to go. So it makes sense for people to jump in and do nearly $27 million in handle. That tends to make sense to me. But what happens on a Tuesday in July? Like what? Like, what are we doing at Kalshi? Is it crickets? Are we just going to be like, there's nothing going on and it's just not going to be all that, busy? So
my thought process when I was sitting at the M in 2010 and said I wanted to run a future book, and I went to the lawyer and said, "Is this possible?" And he said, "Dave, you're out of your mind. You can't do this. It's illegal everywhere else." And I was like, "It's not going to be forever." I said, "I really think this would be a very profitable business." And he said to me, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "Football, basketball, baseball, and hockey.
No golf.
I think we can offer the 4 majors in golf. And I really think we could do NASCAR in big races. I think there's a market for people to bet NASCAR and feel comfortable with it." And I said, "We don't have to do NASCAR because I got to get a NASCAR guy. I'm not going to really like doing those odds. And I don't watch it, so I don't know. I got guys, though, that could help us with that." And he was like, "Okay. Yeah. What are you going to do in May?" And I said, "What do you mean?"
Derby.
He goes, "The playoffs start, in NBA and NHL, and baseball's in the middle of this, second month. You're going to take any bets? Because you're not taking any football bets in May." And I was like, "You're right." So maybe I'll, I don't know, take 3 months off. Kalshi could take 3 months off, legit, right? Like, or keep a skeleton crew.
Yeah, just take it automated. Just watch the markets trickle.
Yes.
And then, they're going to spike right before the event happens. People are going to buy in based upon the price you have and based upon where the number is. Because you might wind up with a better number than anybody else on the planet, depending upon how the market is moving. So
I think they would have to be aggressive in the pricing. They
have to have the best. Yeah, I would agree. They have to have the best price
because
but they can't manipulate the price though, right? Because the whole idea is what the people are buying into. That changes the price. So you can't really. You're not setting. There's no house, so you're not setting a number if you're Kalshi. You're letting the market dictate and bet and up and go up and down. Right?
Yes and no, because if you could do that, but then you're really going to be in bad prices based on certain things happening.
Trying to see if there's a final. If this is the Kalshi screenshot.
Yeah, look at that. There's one yes and then no.
But there's no pricing. Trying to see what the pricing. What did the pricing close at for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl? Was it better than plus 110?
Right.
In terms of how it went, was it 2-1, 3-1, 5-1, whatever it might be? It's just it's a really interesting look, because then the next conversation is, what happens if the Super Bowl goes international? Like, what does that do to the betting? Does that increase
playing the game on another continent?
Oh, the NFL is very serious about going. There's 3 booked Super Bowls: Santa Clara, LA, and Atlanta. Those are the next 3. After that, they are serious about looking at London to host the game.
Wow.
What does that
surprise you?
It's disgusting. I hate it. I think it's the biggest thing that we do as a country, and to outsource the Super Bowl and put it in a foreign land is dumb. Absolute dumb. But it's the greed of the NFL. London would pay ridiculous amounts of money. It will flop. It will absolutely flop over there, but sure. But does the handle increase if the game is not here, or does it decrease because the game is not here?
Has to be at the same time. Like they can't move it and make it. I mean, in London, what time are they going to play the game?
Good question. I mean, it have to be 6:30 Eastern, so that would be wow. No, you couldn't do it, right? That's late. That's late at night.
That's a midnight game.
Yeah, you can't do it over there. It's a great point. What time do you probably start the game at 9 p.m. local?
In London?
Yeah, probably.
So that's a noon game out in Vegas?
Yeah.
So you cut 3 hours of day game handle?
Oh, right.
It's going to drop.
Yeah, it's going to drop.
A lot of times the strength of the handle on the football, that's why the Sunday night games are so big. You have all day to take the bets. You have all week. It's the longest. It's on the shelf the most. Changing the time of the Super Bowl, that would be drastic. I don't know. I can't believe they would play it in another country.
Oh no, they're serious about it. 100%. They are 100% looking at playing.
Ask the chat. Give them a poll right now. The early morning crew here. Will the NFL play in another country? Will the Super Bowl be played in another country? Yes or no? In the next 5 years?
I think the answer is yes. We should answer should they. So. I think the better question is should they.
I think this is them negotiating and trying to drive up the price.
To whom? I mean, there are multiple cities here. They don't need to
Vegas.
Do that. Yeah, but Tampa wants it. Nashville is building a new stadium. Nashville wants it.
Indoor stadium?
Outdoors in Nashville, I believe.
Oh.
To replace Nissan Stadium, but they're building.
Are they going to play a cold weather Super Bowl ever again after the Giants won?
When Chicago has their dome, they will 100%.
They're going to play it in a dome. They're not going to play the game outside.
No. But Chicago will host when Chicago has a new stadium. They'll get the Super Bowl. It's part of the contingency of like build the stadium. Like here, it was build the stadium, get a Super Bowl.
Wait,
but
Chicago's going to build a dome?
Yeah, you knew this.
That's right? Official?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've been planning this forever to replace Soldier Field. There's a big fight about the location as to where it's going, but they're building a dome in Chicago to replace the Bears. So, and that will bring the Super Bowl. But so you have a new stadium in Chicago, new stadium in Nashville. They'll want it. Tampa wants it. New Orleans wants it again. Vegas wants it again. So, like, there's all these different pockets in America. They don't need London for leverage to get these cities to pony up big money to host the Super Bowl. There's an internal fight like crazy. Like there's a gigantic fight going on right now about where to put the Super Bowl. And I think you're right. An outdoor cold weather Super Bowl will never happen again. It shouldn't happen anyway. We shouldn't go to Chicago. Sorry. I've always said this. It should be a warm weather city. It should be below the Mason-Dixon line for the Super Bowl because it should just be a trip where we get to go out and have a good time. Like in New Orleans, you get to go out and have parties. In Vegas, you get to go out, although it was cold here when we had it, but it's still not like it is right now in New England or in the Northeast where they're sitting on a foot of snow and it's 10 degrees. like it's no fun up there. So get it.
I don't want the game affected.
No, it should be indoors.
Like you roll the dice with an outdoor game.
Yeah.
And
Arizona, Houston, they want it back. Absolutely. Both Phoenix and Houston, they want the game back. So the idea of like putting leverage on American cities by saying we're going to go to London, if that's what they're doing, I think that's dumb because I think there's already a massive internal fight. They want that market. They want the European dollar. They want those people to buy tickets and watch and be a part of it, which I think it's terrible. It's a terrible idea, but this is what the NFL is going to currently look to do. They want to grow in markets that they are not. I mean, your team is going to
Ireland.
Steelers are opening up in Ireland next year.
And as the home team, I think they're giving up a home game to go. Yeah. But like, the Rooney family's from there.
Yeah.
This is a big move to go play a game there. I get it.
Croke Stadium, right? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Croke Stadium. It's the biggest stadium over there in Ireland that they're going over and playing. But that's a Steeler. Yeah. Japan and Australia are on tap. In 2 years, they're going to Australia. I don't like regular season going over there. I cannot stand the idea of playing a Super Bowl in London.
It just takes away the Super Bowl week. I'm just thinking like of media week. That becomes a daunting task
to get over there,
to go to London.
Yeah, super expensive. Medium
for
your
a
local
football
markets.
Game.
I mean, look at here in Vegas. So the Fox affiliate here sent, I think, 2 photographers and 2 reporters to cover the Super Bowl, right? There's no way that like a mid-sized city like Las Vegas, like a Fox affiliate in Las Vegas, is sending someone to London. He might get 1 reporter that gets sent over there, maybe 1. Like no one's going that far. That's a hike and a half to get to London from a Vegas or from a, Phoenix and LA can afford it. They're major markets, but like, your Sacramento's, no, like your middle-sized cities, you can't afford to send people that far. So hopefully that's never going to happen. But, you mentioned baseball. I want to get your take on this because I think this is really fascinating. Yahoo Sports put up this idea about, so if you were in a fantasy baseball league and drafts are now starting because it's, spring training opening up or getting closer to the month of March, who would you draft number 2 behind Shohei if you were going to pick?
Ooh.
Who is the second best player in Major League Baseball? We know who the best is. Who is the second best?
And stuff? Are we going to, is it, I was going to say Bobby Witt Jr. because he's a shortstop. I could see that argument.
This is what they think you should do. Bobby Witt Jr. goes second behind Shohei.
The guy puts up numbers, man, and he's a shortstop. I mean, you don't have to look at drafting another shortstop the rest of the draft.
Aaron Judge at 3. Doesn't it feel like I know, but
average.
Don't you think Aaron Judge could have a big step back year without Soto there to protect him?
Maybe.
I was surprised at that.
He stays relatively healthy though.
He does.
And he puts up numbers. Right? So I could see that. But the fact that 3 of the top 5 guys on this list are shortstops, it's a position thing.
Okay.
That's why that list is like that. Because if you can secure one of those 3 guys in that position, you can have a bad like middle infield. Like you don't have to worry about second baseman that much. Well, there's a lot of outfilders that
Judge at 3. Forget about it.
And Tyrone, there's people that would probably be like, I'd rather have someone else. I get that. ND9, go Irish. I see you in there working with the Clovers there. Ellie De La Cruz, pretty good.
I think he's gonna have a monster year.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a monster year this year. It's gonna be fun.
Stolen bases are back.
Yeah.
It's cool. And you can steals are big, Nick Tom. Steals are big in fantasy. So yeah, that's an interesting discussion, and that starts this week. Everybody's that's getting ready for drafts and talking about drafts and talking about spring training.
Aaron Boone fired a shot at the Dodgers yesterday when he was asked about winning a championship, and he basically
I didn't see this. What did he say?
He said, "I hope that if we win a championship this year, that our players show more class than the Dodgers did after we lost to them last year."
Just say congratulations to them and let it go. Like,
that was my point. That was my point when it came to what happened last night in Omaha. The same thing. You're not gonna walk out going, "You did 2 rings," but you don't need to do any of that.
Well, he won.
Okay.
Like he won. He could say,
he didn't beat Omaha. He didn't beat Creighton in the playoffs in the tournaments. He beat everybody else. He didn't play the Jays, and he wouldn't have beaten the Creighton Blue Jays by 20 both times that they had played in the tournament. His 2 teams were way better than the Jays have ever been. But it's still like, you're showing a lot of respect to Creighton by doing that, and their fan bases. You're showing a lot of respect to the Dodgers, I guess, by doing this. But like, I don't know. Is this going to be the Aaron Boone I'm going to rip everybody tour? Like, is this if I'm going out on fire? Like, I'm just going to start bashing everybody.
I wouldn't have said anything if I was him in that position. I wouldn't have said anything. I said, we're gonna play our season out. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be this. We're gonna be that. Just talk about you.
Fair, right?
One of the things I always tried to explain to the kids was, worry about the other team and what they're doing. Worry about you and what we're doing, and that will take care of itself. Win or lose, at least you ain't gonna you bring it on. You put the bullseye on you when you say, you have more class.
Which I was just like, I mean, on the other side, it was funny because there's been players who have left the Yankees this year who have basically said, I can't wait to be able to grow my facial hair and grow my hair back out and not have to deal with the nonsense of the Yankees and their stupid rules. So there's like a bunch of different like ways of looking at the Dodgers and looking at the Yankees and in their pursuit of the Dodgers. But I said today on Twitter, I woke up this morning and like I just started like rolling through different baseball stuff. And I was like, you know what? This is actually going to be more fun than I thought. Cause I had this like negative pit in my stomach of like, damn man, why are we playing? The Dodgers are going to be so much better than everybody else. And I was like, you know what? It's going to be fun to see who might contend with them. Like which team could put a scare into them and which team gets to do the movie, trailer type stuff. Like, this is the big bad wolf. That this is the enemy.
I think it's going to be great.
This is Drago. Who gets to be Rocky in Major League Baseball? Like who gets to be everyone's favorite team? That's not, it's like Major League Baseball is going to get behind one or two teams. Someone on Twitter said the Braves are going to be the best chance to knock out the Dodgers if they stay healthy. Maybe other people have said, it's going to be a dark horse team that we're not really talking about. Others said maybe the Padres, the Tigers. I think America is going to find a team that they're going to jump on their bandwagon and say, you're our best hope. Like someone needs to be, the hologram of Princess Leia. Like that team is going to be our dream. The Phillies, maybe they have the Diamondbacks.
The NL East is going to be theater between the Braves, Phillies, and Mets. Because the Mets went all in with money.
Yep.
The Phillies have been close. The Braves, Acuna hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Yeah.
They have some changes with the pitching, but they have an unbelievable lineup. So the NL East is literally a daily soap opera. It's going to be great.
Who stops the damn Dodgers? We'll have
the
that
NL West is Diamondbacks, I think, right below the Dodgers, and the Padres hanging close to that. But the Rockies are the worst team in baseball in the National League, at least, not as bad as the White Sox. So you have that. And then the NL Central is more uncertainty than ever between Milwaukee, the Cardinals, and of course the Cubs. Excitement, anticipation will be one of those things we'll watch all season. The American League East is what it is. You guys know it as Boston fans and have not visions of grandeur. I mean, but they're on the up.
Yeah,
Toronto just can't.
3 kids
coming
up.
Way.
Yeah, Toronto can't.
But Boston has that feel for a team that a lot of people could get behind, who can take out the Yankees. The NL West or the AL West is a mess.
A mess.
I
Right.
can't yet figure.
Right, you forget, but the Rangers are nowhere near that team anymore, Stevie Mac. Like nowhere near that team.
That AL West, like, just start looking at the numbers of different things, and like maybe this will be the time that Seattle can put it together. But I mean, the Angels, the A's, the Astros, everything's a mess.
Did you see the report that came out yesterday that the White Sox are offering 27 games for $125?
I want to buy one. I want to buy one and go to Arizona and just go to all the games.
You can't. No, it's home games in Chicago.
It's March, April, and May.
Yeah,
is that only in Chicago? Oh,
yeah,
I thought
only
it
in
was,
Chicago.
Oh, I thought it was the spring training.
No. It's in Chicago. If you want to go in Chicago to watch the games for the White Sox, they'll give you 27 games for $125. How many games would you go to?
If I was in Chicago, I would do that. But although it's cold in Chicago in April, I didn't like to go to Pirates.
I was there at Wrigley in April last year. Froze my ass off.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how much I would do that.
Cold as hell. And I get that's why, because no one wants to go anyway. Nobody wants to watch the White Sox anyway. And now you're going to have it be in cold temperatures. Oh boy. Nobody wants to be able to go that, but they're going to have to pay fans to go at some point this year. This story is wild. Mark Stein, who has been reporting for NBA basketball for a while, is reporting that Mark Cuban tried to stop the Luka Doncic trade.
He did.
He called Nico Harrison and said, "Don't do this." And the answer he got back was, "I've already verbally agreed to the trade, and so I can't stop it." On what planet are we talking about a verbal commitment that you can't go back on because it's your boy? Like, this is why I'm beginning to think, like, if you're a Dallas Maverick fan, the more that this stuff comes out, the more that it's like Nico Harrison was hell-bent on sending Luka to the Lakers, and that's it. Like, he had to do it for whatever reason. And he's boys with the GM of the Lakers, and Nico Harrison decided that I've got to put Luka in a Laker uniform, and I don't care what comes back. I don't care how I make it happen, but I have to make it happen. It's giving, every time the story like this comes out, it gives more and more credence to the idea that there was a conspiracy, or there was some type of like back channeling going on between the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks to make Luka on their roster. Like, how do you read this? That he was told, I verbally said yes, so I can't go back now.
I don't get it. Doesn't he have like the most stroke in the joint?
You think he owns 27%? He owns 27% of the team still, and he calls the GM and says, "Wait a minute, what did you do? Like, you can't do this. Like, you know what this is going to do to the city. Like, you can't do this. You can't. The fan base is not going to live for this. Not going to accept this." And Nico Harrison's like, "I verbally committed." Who cares if you verbally committed to anything? It's not legally binding. No takebacks. Like, what is it, second grade? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, when you made that trade for the peanut butter and jelly for the ham sandwich, there was no takebacks. I mean, that you verbally agreed to it. You gotta eat it. That's it.
Yeah, I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. I told the Lakers that I'm sending you Luka, so I have to do it. Wait, what? Like, the owner calls you and says, "Hey, man, you really can't do this. Like, this is a really bad idea. Like, trading Luka Doncic is a really, really bad idea." But no, I told the Lakers that they're getting Luka. So what? I'll look bad. Like, my friend will be mad at me. Like, I can't do that. like, this story is like, I do. I feel really bad for Maverick fans. Like, this just gets worse and worse and worse.
They were in the NBA Finals last year.
Every day it feels like this story is getting more negative and more nasty.
Well, the way you're saying it almost sounds like he's an operative, a spy. He got in there, he got the job, and said, "Listen, I'll get Luka. They don't want to sign him here. I'll get you Luka. Hold on, let's figure out how to do this."
I mean,
it's
Rob
weird.
Pelinka.
I'm not saying he did that, and
no, but Rob Pelinka dresses like the Fonz, and he's sitting
he looks
there like
great. I mean, I got to admit, I just saw him at the players only thing when he was here for the Players Era tournament. I was literally 3 feet from him. I stood next to him for like 8 minutes, and I just kept going. This guy is
movie star, Rob Lowe. So he looks like. I mean,
he looks just like him.
Yeah. If you ever play the movie, who is going to be Rob Pelinka? It's going to be Rob Lowe. But I can't, like, I read the story like 3 times, and it's on the Substack for Mark Stein. And it's just like, wait a minute, there's no way that if your phone rings and the answer is, well, I've already verbally agreed to it. Who cares if you verbally agreed to it? Like, that's the answer you give to the owner, that I can't go back on this. I'm really sorry. I wish I could, but I can't. The wheels are already in motion. Did you sign anything? No. Did you sign it with the NBA? No. Have we done physicals? No. What are we talking about? Like, a verbal commitment's not even good in college basketball anymore, like, or college football anymore. Like, your word means nothing in sports, like nothing, especially in trades. Like, I've already agreed to it. Yeah, okay, but somebody told me I couldn't do it. So my boss called me and said, "What are you doing trading Luka Doncic? You're an idiot. Like, you can't do this. You can't trade Luka, period." Well, sorry, I already agreed to it. So, I verbally said yes. So
I was out at the store. The Luka jerseys were on sale for $25.
My God.
You can go buy a Mavs jersey with 77 on it. It says Luka on the back. $25. I almost did it, but I'm like, can't do it.
Yeah, the Lakers did just rescind the trade for the center with the Hornets because of a bad physical.
Right.
This would have been even easier. This would have been more simplistic. This just would have been, no, sorry, I said yes, but sorry.
Would it have been better if Cuban said, "I back this"? Like would that have put out the fire, or is it now now this pushes it like
no? Because Mark is ingrained in the Dallas community. Mark wants to be able to go to his country club and not get heckled. Like, Mark's life is turned upside down because of what Nico Harrison did. This guy's having death threats. Like he's walking around with security in Dallas. Like this is a city that is known for certain types of weaponry. Like somebody wants to take this guy out. Like,
well, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. He traded a basketball player.
Come on. He's getting death threats consistently. I mean, like
that's on the people that are doing the death threats. Calm down.
Maverick fans are really mad, and I get why they're really mad. And this again does not help. Mark Cuban, fine. Him selling the team started this. I'll give you that. Yes, that's true. He did give up power. He did stop being the governor. He gave up his power, and now he's trying to figure out where to go and how to do this. So it's an absolute mess. Time for Bet It or Book It. And yeah, you guys are gonna be like, wait, this is a fast show. Yes, it's only a 1 hour show today, guys. We're in and out. All right, Bet It or Book It time. I am going to stop fading St. John's, and I'm going to ride St. John's tonight on the road at Villanova. St. John's has lost one game all year in the Big East Conference. That was on the road in Omaha against the Creighton Blue Jays. They have beaten everybody else. This is a win that I think St. John's will have to fight for, but I do think St. John's wins this game tonight on the road to stay in first place by 2 games in the Big East Conference.
Villanova first half, get either in game or St. John's in the second half. We'll say this is a bet. I think the Johnnies win it again.
It's gonna be a fun game. This is a tough team to play. Nova's got a couple of really big wins under their belt. A win like this would be huge for their resume, but I like St. John's.
Early start, 3:00 Pacific.
Yep.
My gosh.
Big East window for Fox. Drake is 22-2 on the year. They are 12-2 in the Missouri Valley Conference. They're on the road against Illinois State tonight. I like Drake to stay hot tonight under a 3-point margin. Illinois State, they beat them by 10 earlier in the year.
Wow.
At home.
A lot of people are on this Drake team, P-Roll.
The 22-2. How can you not?
Through my timeline today, and I'm like, wow, certain people got Drake on the money line. Love the Drake, JC from KC says.
I mean, 12-2 is 12-2. Ben McCollum's a good coach.
I will take your word for it and say make it a bet. But I love home dogs. You know that. Illinois State. Oh, man. All right. We'll say it's a bet.
Redbirds are good. I'll give you that. I do, but they've lost. Yeah. They've already lost a game to it. So everyone's going to take the dog. But 2-point win according to KenPom, 2.5-point number. Yeah. And then I'm going way off the beaten path. I'm going to my school. UMass laying 1.5. Frank Martin at home here. Small favorites against Davidson. UMass has been playing really well over the last couple of games. I like my team to come up and just basically money line this if you want. I laid 1.5.
I'll just say book it. I didn't even know they were playing today. You really
a lot of teams are playing today. It's my school. So yeah. This is my school. So, here we go with this. Favorite thing about today is what?
Thank you, Dave's Daily Picks. I got this other Expos hat too here. This one has a patch on the side, a leather bill, and another patch on the side. This is an all-timer here. I don't know even where I got this. I love this Expos hat. Favorite thing about today, 2 things. One, 4 Nations. Be a great game. It's why I'm wearing the Montreal stuff. They're in Montreal. 100%. I saw it in the rundown. Will I watch it? Yes. Will I bet it? I don't know yet. We'll see. Just watch Sports Grid tonight. I'll be on with Wetzel. We're going to talk about more about the game. I don't know yet. Number 2, yesterday I went to pick Kendall up at the bus stop. I get there, try to get there early because I like to be early for stuff so she don't have to worry about not seeing me there or whatever. So anal about getting there and getting a spot. As I'm waiting, 4 police cars and an ambulance go flying by me on our street where I'm picking her up. Not stopped at no stop signs and flying. And as it happens, they stop at the next intersection. And everybody jumps out of cars and secures the scene. And I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? So I sent my wife a text and my other daughters, sent Kendall a text. Are you good? Are you okay? Where you at? Yeah, I'm on the bus. Apparently yesterday, in a crosswalk on a scooter. One of the kids from her school got hit by a car. And it was unnerving.
Nightmare
It-
fuel.
It was, and it was literally, I could see it all. And she got off her bus, and I said, "Do you know what's happening over there?" And she said, "Yeah, I think one of the kids from my school got hit by a car." And I was like, "Okay." So we did a U-turn and we went to volleyball practice. And as I went by the scene, they had it all secured. There was a scooter that was laying on the ground. They got him out of there. There was a car parked on the other side of the street that obviously was the car that hit him. When I came back, it was all still there. And then I came back and did my shows with Sports Grid. By the time I went to go see her, it was already they did what they had to do. But it was just a reminder that everybody slow down,
Blink of an eye.
keep an eye on your loved ones, old, contemporary, young, whatever it is, because that stuff can change everything in a heartbeat. That kid was coming home from school yesterday, and I literally, when I kissed Kendall goodbye before I came up to do the show today, and I said, "Please find out, and let's hope that boy is okay today from your school. So let me know." So thoughts and prayers to him, his family, whomever else. Hopefully he's okay. I really, really hope he's okay. But that was one of those moments where they were flying by, and I thought, this is bad.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that. I thought there's a domestic situation. Maybe there's a big car accident. Something bad is happening, because when 5 cars fly by in an ambulance, I was like, uh-oh. So my favorite thing about today is that just be aware of your surroundings and the people in your life.
Hey, man, I see it in my neighborhood all the time. I see kids on scooters, these damn electric scooters and electric bikes going 1,000 miles an hour. It's epidemic, an epidemic waiting to happen. It's coming, unfortunately, to light on this. 2 quick things. One, I get to be a Vegas tourist today, which I don't normally get to do. So I get to go and play around, go to the Sphere today, go to playground today. So I'm looking forward to having some fun in my home city. I don't normally get to do that. So going to go and do that. And secondly, if you are a Celtics fan, March 3rd on Max, Celtics City is out. The breakdown of the Boston Celtics that Bill Simmons has done, it will be out coming up here in 3 weeks. Celtics fans have been waiting for this for a long period of time. It's an in-depth behind-the-scene look of last year for the championship. So if you were a Celtics fan, that got announced this morning that you're going to get a chance to see some pretty cool stuff on the 3rd of March. He is Dave. I am Matt. We are back tomorrow. What time are we doing the show tomorrow?
Same time, no?
Same time. Okay. Early time tomorrow morning. Same time. Morning show.
You're flying out, right?
Yep. Friday we're flying out. Newbie may not do the show on Friday, depending if you want him to or not. But
we have okay.
So you figure that out. But
tomorrow we're doing the same time, morning show.
Morning show, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern.
Circa, Kentucky, March 12th.
Mark it down. He's Dave. I'm Matt. We're back tomorrow for a morning show, BVB.